He was perhaps the most gifted member of a golden crop of young Cumbrian players. A talented teenager who captured the imagination of fans at his boyhood club. In those days, you were growing up around the time of some fabulous players, your Delaps, your Paul Murrays. There was a great generation coming through at that time.
There was a Scott Dobie, Procas, and then you had the experienced players like Reevesy and Rod Thomas and Stefan Punawachi at the back, Tony Cagle. It was a foundation of a great crop of players, and it could have been built on and been really successful.
Looking back at that time, do you think there were mistakes made? Do you think if they'd have worked harder to hold on to that core, Carlisle could be in a different place now?
I mean, it was in the time of Michael Knighton, the infamous Michael Knighton. He ended up selling the crown jewels. Myself went, Paul Murray went, Scott Dobie went, Rory Delap went. So if you'd held on to that core of players, I'm sure they could have been a really successful team.
In 1998, Jansen turned down an offer from Manchester United to sign for Crystal Palace. One season later, he was off to Blackburn Rovers, where his form earned him an England call-up. The pinnacle of your career was your time at Blackburn, as it would transpire. How confident, how much self-belief did you have at that time?
Well, I scored on my debut. Unfortunately, that season we got relegated, but then I scored 24 goals, and the winner at Preston North End taking us back into the Premier League. And all along, my confidence is growing bigger and bigger, and I'm getting this invincibility, feeling like I'm invincible. And then I score in the League Cup final, and I get a call up to the England squad. I'm going to the World Cup.
So, Matt, you've scored in a cup final, set up the winner, been called into the England squad. The world was your oyster at that time.
I was at the top of my career. My confidence was sky high. I was growing to be so self-assured of myself that I was getting better and better, and I was at the pinnacle just there. I was flying and feeling invincible. Give me the ball, I want the ball. I wanted to be a showman. I wanted to show off how every time I got the ball, I wanted to show off how good I was. And you know, it had got to that stage where I just felt I could do anything. And then that summer, everything changed for me.
Jansen never did play for England. After missing out on his debut due to illness, he was left out of the World Cup squad at the very last minute. That summer, a motorcycle crash caused a brain injury from which he never truly recovered as a player. Battles with anxiety and depression followed. In tomorrow's programme, he tells us about how his life fell apart and how he has rebuilt himself to campaign for greater understanding of mental health. Ryan Dollard, ITV News.